Season 6 of Sons of Anarchy had a lot of deaths, and here on Fog Entertainment, we're going to rank them all. Now, not every single death, to be fair, but we're going to rank 18 of them. A few groups have been put together, but regardless, we're going to begin in 18th place. And 18th place belongs to the Nazis, the neo Nazis, that Sam Crow and Sam Dino laid waste to at McGeever's Ranch. I mean, it was a badass scene to be fair, but you know, it's just a gun getting sprayed and killing a bunch of people. So for me, 8th spot, last, but here, by no means bad. And I think that's a good thing about Sons. I don't think it does bad deaths. You know, I think you get a lot of TV shows that do bad deaths, but you know, these aren't main characters. They're not. I mean, they're filler characters at the end of the day. So there's not much to it. 17th, we've got Darwiny. So again, just kills her with a pillow. I mean, the death itself is not that great, right? But at the end of the day, it's one of those deaths where it's like it furthers the story and creates a rift, and you know, it's essentially the death that seals Juice's fate in this show, so it has importance and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, it's suffocation via a pillow, so I'm not going to big it up too much. 16th spot belongs to Arcadio. Arcadio. So of course, Arcadio gets shot in the head by Nero because he told Darwin to scoot over and we'll get out of here. And then Nero's like, Arcadio, don't do it. Don't do it, amigo. He did it. And then, of course, bang, bang, good night. Nero has dealt with that situation. Shot in the head, good night. Number 15, we've got the school shooting victims. Again, what I would say with this is it's off screen. I totally get why it's off screen. You know, school shootings in America, it's a very sensitive subject. I mean, you do see them in media before. I don't think it's Kurt sort of couldn't have done this, but I feel like if it was very graphic, you know, we got what happened. For me, it didn't include any characters we knew. You know, it's not like it was Abel's school or something. End of the day, I thought it was fine. 14th spot, we got Phil, of course, killed by Galen. The reason he's below Phelan in 13th is because he's a fully patched member, and it wasn't the greatest death, but I mean, it put over the Irish and how pissed off they were. And the fact here, it's just killed two Sam Crow members. Maybe the worst two Sam Crow members to ever live, but you can't really complain about it too much. 12th spot, we've got the younger Gehazi brother. Of course, Tig drowned him in a big bathtub filled with piss, so that's pretty bad there. But I mean, imagine that. Like, you think drowning's bad? Like, with water or salt water, you know, fresh water, whatever. This guy drowned in piss and vinegar, and I mean, I've never tasted piss, right, for obvious reasons, but, you know, vinegar strong, piss, that would just burn your lungs, man. That would be an absolutely brutal death. Number 11, we've got Erin the escort. I thought it was actually a pretty good death because, you know, you've got Torek peeking out the window and then she startles him and he shoots her and she's like, you just shot me. And he's like, no, 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 no. And he just puts her on the ground, pillow, good night. Great death, in my opinion. And then we've got 10th spot. We've got the school shooting victim's father. You give that freak the gun. You give that freak the gun. Takes a knife to his jugular, slices himself open. Brutal death. 9th spot. We have got Alice. And of course, Alice gets killed by Jax Teller. I believe this is actually the first Jax Teller kill on this list. Well, the neo-Nazis, I guess he had his hand in that, like, but yeah, Alice, you know, get me. He's gonna grow up hating you for the pitiful thing called his father. Pfft. What have I become? What have I enslaved? Na, 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 the Judas in my mind. 8th spot, we have got Gomez. Yeah, so of course, the father who slit his throat in 10th spot ran over Gomez. And I thought it was just a pretty good scene because Juice didn't even sell it. But Gomez, he had to sell it. His brain splattered over the windshield. And then he just got mangled underneath the car. Blood everywhere. Brutal scene of someone getting run over Pretty badass. Then number 7, we've got Uncle Lynn, and this is where we're getting to the pretty great deaths. Again, his crew gets wiped out. They give Happy the gun, and Happy ends Old Man Chong, Old Man Lin, whatever you want to call him. I believe Happy called him Old Man Chong. So yeah, I mean a pretty good death for me. Then into 6th spot we have got Otto. So of course he had just slit the throat of Lee Toric. He stood up and he got met with a hail of gunfire and he's shot. He's trying to fight it, but his body obviously can't fight bullets. He's not fucking Wolverine, and then he falls to his death. That brings us to 5th spot though, which is Lee Toric, of course. And of course, Lee Toric, you know, go, get out, get out. He gets stabbed a bunch of times in the side, and he's like, wow, didn't even see that coming. And then, of course, what happens is he gets his throat slit by Arnold Delaney. Badass. Great. Number 4, we have got Galen O'Shea. Of course, they've just broke Clay out of prison. Galen and Clay are embracing. Galen turns around. He's like, right, time to acknowledge Jax. He's finally stepped up to task here and he's actually helped us out. And then Jax goes, no, and just shoots him. Point blank range. Bang, bang. Good night. Galen absolutely did. No two ways about it. Absolutely did. Phenomenal. Then we go into our top 3. We've got Eli Roosevelt in 3rd spot. For me, yeah, I think Roosevelt's death was quite good because it's like you just had the shock of Tara dying, right? And he's like, and then he explains it to Gemma. Jax gave himself up to protect her. And he's like, we gotta shoot. And as soon as he goes to call it in, like out of nowhere, he gets shot. And I say out of nowhere, it doesn't seem out of nowhere when you rewatch the show, but you know, watching it for the first time, you would have been flabbergasted that Roosevelt died. I know it makes sense, right? The juice would help Gemma and things like that, but for me, I think looking back, man, what a shocking death. Number 2, you know, it's a toss-up between these two, but we've put Clay in second. A lot of history tied to this one. You know, we've got the whole build-up to the death. He explains pretty much the master plan by Sam Crow. 2 guys, one thing led to another, couldn't be helped. Jax is like, yeah. And then they walk him in. He said the goodbye to Juice, Gemma, etc. Is this good? Yeah. Jax gets the gun handed to him, shoots him in the throat, and shoots him about 10 times in the body. End of an era, great death. But for me, you know, it's a bit simple, but it makes total sense why it's simple because they've got to make it look like him and Galen got in this shootout. And I think considering all that was at play, they made it pretty good. Number 1, brutal. One of the brutalest deaths you'll see in a TV show. It is Dr. Tara Knowles getting her head absolutely forked in by Gemma Teller. Epic death, epic scene, and brutal, man. It's not, you know, it's not like, oh, Gemma slid her a couple of extra sleeping pills and she died during, no, fucking bang, 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 fork in the back of the dome. Brutal. Anyway, leave your thoughts down below. That's every death for Sons of Anarchy Season 6. We'll be back with the characters sooner rather than later. Until then, peace.